Welcome to Center of Light, all Yanavites tribe that's alive in 2020 using vision, 2020 vision for the year 2020. Check out all my friend, y'all. I brought some what's the word I'm looking? Artillery. Welcome to Center of Light. Forward. We're moving forward. No more corona this, no more corona that, unless it's pertinent, at least that I feel. And I'm always open to your ideas. But I'm going to leave that old world paradigm behind. It's done. I'm done with it. In fact, I'm so done with it. Someone has something beautiful to share with me I want to know, I'll listen. But if it's just more of the same nonsensical social media talk about the this and the that, I will say I'm just not interested in hearing it, or I'll walk away, make changes. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's not being in denial, but it is denying that this is a possibility for me. So I'm no longer going to choose that as a possibility. I'm denying it. I'm not in denial, but I'm denying this as part of my moving forward in 2020. Hello, Bruce Love. Hello, Shirley Pinnell. Lilia Byram. Link, what's up, dog? Carson Ann, Dana Trotter. Everyone share, please share. Danielle, Bradford Jones, Trudy Glenn. All right, getting down to some business. Let me take a peek at YouTube. Kelly Curtis is in the house with some cinnamon. Let me in. Darren Brady. So tonight, we're going to start moving forward. Tonight's presentation title is Center of Light Forward. Business as you. YOU. Business as usual. Business as usual. So we're going to go back to where we left off when the big noise happened. Hello, Michelle Lewis. So I brought some friends tonight. I brought Swamji. I brought Shankar Maharaj. I brought Sadhguru and Big Daddy himself, the greatest world teacher, at least the most popular one, YOUsual, Jesus Christ. So let me introduce you a little more. We all know who the Son, one of the sons, the most popular, famous Son of God, Jesus. With Swamji, many people who visit this forum, Center of Light, know who Swamji is. I was given this Japamala prayer bead. Catholic religion, it's a rosary. Doesn't matter where it comes from. It's all for the same reason. To say a penance, if you will. To feel humble. To open up the door with intention. With every prayer you utter. Every intention you make. Swamji had blessed this bead. I only wear this when I do work. Play in the garden with Shiva. Creates a vibration for me because it's been blessed by God. Literally blessed by God. Shankar Maharaj saved myself and my friend's life when we were in a car accident. I never knew of this individual. Someone from India said, my guru was watching over you. He says, you are protected. Carry on. I'm carrying on. Center of Light, we're moving forward. Past the old paradigm of the world being sick. I'm not in denial. I'm denying that to be true for me. Sadhguru, everything's backwards, is on the earth today as well. These three are on the earth today. God walks beside you at every moment, whether you know it or not. And Yeshua, Jesus, is, believe it or not, a lot of my work is actually about. My work is about these other avatars, but the divine principle is completely about some Jesus. So welcome to Center of Light. Tonight is Center of Light forward, inward. We got to go inward. All that's happening in the world. We're not talking about coronavirus anymore. All that's happening in the world brings us back to center. Here and now. So in order to move forward, we may have to move inward. So inward brings us to a platform of moving upward, and from that we shoot forward. So the question we need to ask ourselves is, toward what are we going? Where are we going? Hello, Tiffany, Carl Lapperouse, Sandy, Bridget, Tom Schaefer, Susan Knuckles Robertson. So I brought some artillery with me tonight. It's always here. It's just a reminder. It creates a presence. It creates a Shakti pot, or a Diksha, said differently, same thing, same idea. So what is Shakti pot and what is Diksha? Looking at these pictures, find anyone that calls to you. Actually, let's try that. Let's have a little bit of fun. If Jesus calls to you, which I'm sure it will, it's not about who's favorite and whose dad has bigger muscles. That's not what I'm asking you. Pick one. Is it Sadhguru? Put an S. Sadhguru would be the gentleman over here. If it's Maharaj, put an M. If it's Swamiji, put an S. Put Swamiji. And if it's Jesus, say J. You figure it out. I'm just curious to see who attracted to. So Sandy says she's attracted to Sadhguru. Cool. Sadhguru is illumined. He is the fire. He's in the fire. He wasn't born this way, so to speak. He achieved this level of divinity over his life. And now he's in the garden, truly illuminated. He's not just wading in the water. He's on surfboards. Rena says Jesus. I loved it. Dana says Swamiji. I love it. Lincoln says Sadhguru and Swamiji have spoken to me. Dear Lord, you are a blessed man. So I encourage support just because it's representative of moving inward, which is upward, which is forward. We don't want to be stuck. I want to play you some. December 31st, 2019. I had a little going out party and going in. And I said, tomorrow when you wake up, the world will be stroked by your divine parent saying, I love you beyond measure. That's going to be Mahashivratri Festival 2020, Friday, February 21st. I am going to broadcast this 12 hours. Eric is my director. He says 5 minutes. I love it. So let me see where my okay. Four minutes. Four minutes. Are you anticipating? Are you nervous yet? The consciousness tomorrow is going to tilt. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can go tell your mom. There's nothing she can do about it. It's going to tilt. Are you aware of the tilt? Be aware of the tilt. See what happens. Let it happen. Let it happen. Don't resist. Let it happen and just observe. Step back. Observe. Take it in. In step when you need to. Outstep when you have to. Learn how to dance with your divine parent, because it's wending its way through every soul on the planet. It's happening now. Hello, Heather. So I showed you that tidbit from December 31st, New Year's Eve, 2019. And we wake up the next morning and the consciousness tilts. And we find ourselves thrown in what looks to be chaos. And if you're looking out and about through this filter, it's convincing that the world is in chaos. I get it. I understand chaos. It has a purpose. But it's a dual function. It's the tails of the whole coin. But look at the heads. Look at all these heads. Take what you have in your head that's balanced and look. Step back and look and see. The consciousness has tilted. The game has started. The game is underway. Do you want to play the game, or do you want to be the one that invents the game? Do you want to be Milton Bradley? This guy wants to be Milton Bradley in his own right. So now that we understand where we are in time, let me tell you where we are in time. Hello, Leonard, JR, Gregory, Janice, Emmett. So if we want to understand as a species, more important where you are in eternity and this sliver of time that you call your life, is we're back into the garden gate. The window is open. It's open. So center of light tonight is called forward. We're going to move forward from here. No one is ever asking you to not take precautions to something that is potential about anything happening in the world. That's not it. Always use your God-given faculties to guide you where you need to be, when you need to be there, and why you need to be there to receive everything it has for you. Whether you like it when you get there or not is irrelevant. Just intend, and your feet and heart and mind and path will be directed for you. The path will become illuminated. Business as you, YOU, business as usual. So the trumpet has been sounded. The bell has been rung. The golden bell in the court of the highest order. Wow! Has been rung again. Another seal very likely has been opened. Is it the seventh one? Seems to me. So what we do to answer that call is resound or call back to state an intention. Guide me. And so we resonate the tines of our soul's tuning fork. And the universe, God, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, Swamiji, Sadhguru, Sai Baba, says, I've been waiting. Hello, Krista. I've been waiting. Wait no more. The call has been resounded. And it's for those to heed, be a part of. I want to read you something from the Divine Principle about what tonight's presentation is. If God, Spirit says, if God is love and you are part of God, why is fear part of your experience and not mine? And I say, I have no earthly idea, trying to be funny. Keith, fear is nothing more than that of fear. Time, and again, the mistakes that you have made by living without divine principles have perpetuated your fear cycle and left you feeling all those feelings of lack. Remember, whenever you buy into one of your fears, it is because you have a false sense of emptiness. I will break this down for you. You can say that fear is false emptiness actualizing reality. A space void of love, God, you. Fear is a self-created block that constricts and keeps you from becoming open to the divine self that wants to pour through you and bring you fulfillment. That is right here, right now, when this was vesseled in 1996. So you see, Keith, even though you do have God qualities, fear is the one thing I do not share with you, for it has no connection at all to anything that is love. Good night. Y'all have a wonderful evening. The physics here should not be too complex to understand. Fear is yours and yours alone. Later on, when I share my divine principles and you begin to put them to use, you will see the fears dwindle. Living these divine principles will keep you focused on God as your only reality, because from now on, center of light is moving forward, not backwards. That was yesterday. Applying them in every opportunity will help you to become a part of the all-pervading reality of love, which is the living truth. Just a moment ago, I posted this group of links. Let me go here and share them again, please. Hello, everyone in Watch Party. You will see at the very top a link to pre-order my new book released July 31st, Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. 30 years of my life. I went to a university for 30 years. It's like going to college. That brought me to this point. And anytime you do something lovingly, passionately, sincerely, earnestly, diligently, because it's a fire in your belly, a fire in your consciousness, a fire in your heart. In fact, you can't live without it. You become endowed. Homecoming, the book that's being released July 31st, 2020, please pre-order now. It really helps my work excel even before things take off, so to speak. Is offering that teaching, the unfoldment of, to you. It's not saying how you need to do it. It's a possibility of how you could do it. You just put your own spin on it. It's the unfoldment of my life and the decisions I've made, the intentions I have had, the experiences that have been graced upon me to where I begin to understand a language of light beyond talking. It can come through talking, but it's beyond talking. December 31st, 2019. I said, when you wake up tomorrow morning, the world is going to change. Be prepared. So since tonight is about Center of Light Forward, another potential target date is April 1st. April Fool's Day. Spirit has a very strange sense of humor. Supernatural sense of humor. Be prepared to laugh at yourself, because the person that you're going to be laughing at is not the real you anyway. And if you get the aha of the joke that's being played, you will see how gullible you were. The noise out here is getting very, very loud. And if you want to move upward and forward, you have to go inward. Inward. Yet, if you say, yeah, but, you've missed the golden train. You missed the ticket. There's no yes, but. And it's not, well, there's no well. There is no well. The door's open. So as we begin to become master surfers, master craftsmen, master navigators inside of ourselves, don't avoid nor resist the wobble of the world, because what you are doing is you're resisting. What you resist will persist, and it creates a dissonance. You don't want to create a dissonance with the world. Sounds contradiction, but follow me. It's the point being made. You want to somewhat get in the spin of the world versus being in denial of it. Because if you kind of get into the movement of it, it doesn't slam you so hard. You kind of going with the current. You get into a swimming pool back in the day when the above ground swimming pool, and it was round and all the people in the pool would make a whirlpool. All right, so everything's moving in a direction. You go with it, everything's fine. You try, you notice when everybody says reverse and it's a little tough, this can happen. So you don't want to create this kind of resistance in your life. So go with the flow, but what you need to do is be centered as you are moving in it. I'm centered. I'm moving with it. I can go with the flow. I can go with the this. I can go with the that. But I'm centered. And because you are centered in such nonsensical movement, you become the greatest influence that you can possibly be to yourself and those around you, and the world, who definitely needs your light. So fear, what's the word I'm looking for? Acronym. FEAR. Fear. False emptiness appearing real. What does that mean? False. Emptiness. Well, Keith, didn't you say the emptiness is where we need to go? Yes, but this is different. I don't mean the vacuum, the void, the emptiness, the quiet, the silence. I mean the emptiness of the longing for something that a person is living in an illusion for. I'm missing something. I feel empty. No. These are two different empty spots. In fact, the person who claims to feel empty when they're in trouble is not empty at all. It's full of nonsense. So they're not empty. Empty means to truly be empty. I have no thoughts. I don't have no Jesus. I don't have no Swamiji. I have no Maharaj. I have no Paramahansa Yogananda. I have no Sadhguru. It's not that you can't bring or allow these beings to bring you to that place that they all, for eons of time, trying to get us to go to. The space of samadhi that this divine man is in a cave in India, he's not coming out of the cave until he unifies with God, and probably then he will never come back, because he melts into the divine consciousness of infinity. These beings can help point the way and nudge us a little bit. They're not going to open the door for you. They're going to show you the door. So the nothing I'm talking about is exactly that. There's no thought. There's no well. There's no but. There's I'm not sure. You have to be willing to die. Physically, yes, but more so, rather, the death of what is we know as the ego, which is not what everyone makes it out to be. It's your counterpoint. It's your partner. For without it, you never would have incarnated. You can't incarnate without it. In fact, when you're done with it, you go back permanently, eternally, infinitely. This is what all the religious, spiritual, masterful teachings, poets, singers, songwriters, artists, dancers have been conveying in their expression when they tap into that very gate that these beings live in naturally now. You and I live in it naturally as well. We just don't remember it. We're not aware of it. Joel Flores, what's up, brother? Carolyn Renando, Heather Turpey, Jack Brewer. So we are now living in the hyperfertile garden, the field, the infinite field of all possibility, the quantum mechanical unified field, the garden, the sacred heart, the gate, the stargate. It's open, and you don't have a choice but to be in it. Doesn't necessarily mean any particular person's heart is open, but you are in the collective global heart, and it's open. And if your heart is not open to move with the flow of it, as I just momentarily ago described, you're bucking the current, and therefore you have the potential of putting yourself in a very intense situation that you wished that you would have heard this presentation, followed along, or any other spiritual teacher or anyone about anything. You'll find yourself in a situation that you wish you would have paid attention to. Here is such a situation. Everything that has been written about for thousands of years is happening to you today, right here, right now. And it's going to exponentiate. Every day, it's going to turn within itself. Turn within itself. Turn within itself. More people are going to board the train to noise, and other people are going to board the train to leaving that behind. If something critical comes up, you will know. Spirit will put it in your face blatantly to say, hey, I tried to get your level on meditation, but you don't meditate so much lately. But because you have divine grace coming to you, I'm going to put it to you in the front of a friend that's saying, did you hear what just happened? It requires your attention and your intention to be in the presentation of what's happening to you, what's been happening to you, what's happening to you, and how to become the navigator, the flight of the navigator. We're going to move forward. Inward, upward, forward, and toward something. For those who live in Memphis, Tennessee, we're going to start a meditation on Wednesday night very soon by instruction, support, suggestion of Swamiji, ninth incarnation on earth. The first God realized energy, divine, holy, universal Lord energy to step foot on this planet. Big Daddy. Fact. I've lived it. I've seen him, quote, in action for those who are dabblers or skirting on spirituality. I'm going to take a short break. When I get back, I want to read you those divine principles. Hello, David Murray Raper. Hello, David DeGudis. Good to see you, gentlemen. My name is Keith Anthony Blanchard. Tonight we are speaking about Center of Light forward. Forward. Inward is upward. Upward is forward. Toward something. And I'm here to tell you it ain't coronavirusville. Something stinks. Business as usual. YOUsual. Business as usual. I am getting back to my sacred, joyful, doing what I love life. I heard the call. There's nonsense afoot. I understand it. So I'm going to move beyond that and go somewhere else. And that somewhere else is where I think everyone wants to be at in the first place. Do you feel the energy in the earth? Do you feel the energy in the world? Do you feel the energy in your very own household? Do you feel the energy in you? You feel that shift? If you don't, you're either numb or in denial. Either way, you're still a beautiful soul. Keep moving forward. The trumpet has been sounded. Some lavender soul. I'm going to send this out to Kelly Curtis.
She turned to me and told me life was not too easy unless you can let go. I lay surprised at the simpleness of her soul. Wasting away in a sea of uncertainty. She had stayed with me for days. I needed love in so many different ways. And as I watched, she floated through the room. And as I cried, she was there to dry them too. Hold me and don't let go. Hold me. Never leave. Never leave. Angel of love, will you always be with me so I can let go? Reveal to me the beauty of your soul. I turned away, her light was so blinding, the energy of her love. She said goodbye and turned into a dove. She floated through the room, and as I cried, she was there to dry them too. Hold me and don't let go. Hold me, never leave. Hold me and don't let go. Hold me, never leave. Never leave. She turned to me, told me life was not too easy unless you can let go. Reveal to me the beauty of your soul.
Welcome back to Center of Light. I have a powerful presentation for you. Welcome to my friends. Welcome and hanging out with me and my friends. My friends, our family, our cosmic divine family. 3 of these beings are on the earth. The bottom left corner, obviously, he's not alive on the earth, but he's alive. All around you. All of these energies are around you. Tonight, Center of Light, forward. Let's move forward. It's not being in denial. It's denying this nonsense as a possible experience for ourselves. Business as you. You, Y-O-U. Business as usual. I want to read, I love acknowledging my friends, my family, Tribe Yanava. Carolyn says, went through this roller coaster of emotion. Then I decided that this was too big for me. I wrote, I hand this over to you, God. You, God. Ames Archer. Lincoln says, I feel it. We are raising the roof on this night. Good, bro. Get in there and jump into the fire. So we can move forward. I want to offer some models, some ideas of what moving forward, not only moving forward, because when you move forward with these ideas and principles and models, we're already there. So it takes linear time out of the experience. So I'm going to offer you some nuggets that's going to put you there already. And then basically your spiritual ass has to catch up. These are keys to where these beings, it's the keys to the house of many mansions that they're living in. Everybody has their own mansion in this overlord mansion. Everybody has their own mansion inside of a greater mansion. I am in my Father's in me, and I am in you. The house of many mansions. The house, the consciousness of God. The house, the housing of the universe is consciousness. So this is what it looks like to move forward. This is what it's like when we get there. This is what it's like when everyone returns to the garden consciously and the world becomes a unified, global, peaceful Facebook Spirit says from the divine principle, the scripture that says, judge not lest ye be judged, does not mean that I judge your wrongs and punish you for your sins. It means that when you judge what's going on in the world, or so we think, period. Judgment means judgment. Doesn't mean only people. It means that when you judge yourself for the poor decisions you have made in the past, and you judge others for the faults that you see in your own self. I am not like you in this regard. I have no past to cast judgment upon. That's why these principles are going to take you forward. It's going to get you out of the past. It's going to bring you to the gate. I am not like you in this regard. I have no past to cast judgment upon. For it takes all of my time just to be the love necessary to sustain creation. My stance of unconditional love defines who I am. What defines the world? What defines the world is its present dilemma. Figuring out how to catch the ultimate wave of universal law. Up until now, this was vesseled in 1996, but now it's 2020. Up until now, most of you have wiped out in all of your attempts because you have not yet learned the laws that will let you hang 10 and master the ride all the way to spirit. But now that I see your desire to change, I will present them to you. I will place you atop my surfboard so that you can finally coast in and land on my peaceful shore. The law of gravity. How was that for a law, Keith? I say, well, that's a good one. Until you master this law, if you go against it, serious trouble is certain to come your way. Have you jumped off any buildings lately? The law of karma. You reap what you sow, cause and effect. This law ensures divine order and keeps it that way. Your difficulty has been that until recently, you did not know that you are the one responsible for creating your reality. The law of all possibilities. One of my favorites. The universe is a place where miracles are normal occurrences, and all things have the right to be. What will make everything possible for you is the clarity you find by pursuing God. But if you choose to keep on bearing the burden of doubt, the hopelessness that accompanies it will assure that nothing promising will ever come your way. The law of giving. To give is to receive, the way of the Christ. Your illusion of lack has caused you to be selfish and to take, thus ensuring your ongoing impoverishment. The law of purpose or dharma. Finding what your role is in the grand scheme and perform it by allowing your spirit's expression to live and work in your life. I've seen this so many times, all the time in my life. Going against this law will put you on a sure path to misery. The law of detachment. To find fulfillment in the indwelling God, all idol worship, even the coronavirus. Are you listening to me? Listen to me very carefully. The law of detachment from the world. To find fulfillment in the indwelling God, all idol worship, money, this, that, coronavirus, this, politics, everything. To find fulfillment in the indwelling God, all idol worship must be abandoned. Being attached to the external world does not work, because when it's temporal things, as of 2019 New Year's Eve, because when its temporal things are no longer a part of your life, your happiness most assuredly leaves with them. Very simply, these are my laws. If you work with them, they will work for you. If you ignore them, and the simple becomes difficult. In a later chapter, I will offer even more guidelines for you to follow. These are the divine principles as to why I named the book The Divine Principle. The absolute sure path for anyone individually as well as the collective to reach the garden. Without a doubt. Pretty bold, isn't it? Good. I like being right. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel strong. It makes me feel powerful. And in such a delivery, I want to offer this same strength, this wisdom, this rightness as we right ourselves out of being in such a wobble belongs to you naturally. You just have to want it. I say to Spirit, what about rules? Are there any? No. Just keep reflecting on what I said about the law of karma, and that will keep you in order and eventually free you. Tell me again what's been binding me. Spirit says, your mind, it is your prison and your ego is its warden. Exclamation point. You stay locked up inside because you still listen to that keeper of fear and disregard my laws. But from this day forth, center of light tonight, forward, from this day forth, you can pardon yourself from this life sentence. What's happening in the world? You can pardon yourself from this life sentence by listening to me, Spirit, and by accepting the fact that I am here and I am offering you the key to unlock your spirit. All you must do is accept it and know that you truly deserve all that is good. Wow. It's amazing for me to hear this work that didn't come from me from all those years ago. These are the models. These are the templates. These are the truth. How do I know? How did it make you feel by hearing it? Empowered, showered with divine grace. And it applies to everyone. No matter you walk, talk, creed, code, sect, religion, it doesn't matter. It applies to everyone. That's called the truth. And that truth further looks like a unified humanity. Hello, Katarina. Sandy says, just when I think I know what I'm doing. Katarina says, good evening. Lincoln says, please keep speaking, Yanava. This is like milk and honey. Hello, Abuelita Chadwick. I think she's from Michigan. Is that right? Center of light. Forward. Business as you. You. Y-O-U. Business as usual. Business as usual. So now I'm going to move. Let me look on YouTube real quick. Say hi. Kelly Curtis, I hope you're still with me, baby girl. Let's look in the watch party. My new friend, Tina Galen King, is here. She says, Jay. She is from Michigan. Tina says, is this the group that I asked you about the other day? I believe the song was Yes. I will play it again for you in my next commercial break if I can find it, which I should. But remind me as soon as tomorrow early, say like noon, I will sing you that song, okay? I just need you to remind me. Sana. So I'm going to read you the 9 divine principles from the book, The Divine Principle. If you take these in, but I'm going to stay with each of them for a bit because I want to extract, thank you, Lincoln, the milk and honey from each one because they're only each like a small paragraph. I want to lay down the law. It's the law. It's the very things, elements, components, minerals, substances, realities, energies that makes up what you know as you. In fact, it is you. Hello, Donna Marshall. So when you understand that which makes you up and that is what you are, then you have an investment in the situation, and now you can become that which all Scripture has spoken about. Here are the 9 divine principles from my bestseller, The Divine Principle. It's called The Divine Principle because it's an overview of principles. The Divine Principle. It's a body of Christ kind of thing. The governmental body, the spiritual body. It's a body of work. It's a body of Yanava, your soul at its most sacred, ancient self. The Divine Principle number 1. Choose not to accept defeat. Good night, Carolyn. Choose not to accept defeat. The law of all possibilities, pure potentiality and godhood. Having absolute faith in yourself will enable you to see that miracles can happen to you. This is when you truly begin to live your life as a God aspirant. I'm done with nonsense. If you still have some stuff rattling in the can, you're not done with nonsense. It means you know nothing. Absolutely nothing. Ideas are beautiful and they can lead us forward, but when we get stuck and our steps that we take that seem to move forward really doesn't go anywhere but more to the same, we become complacent. Hello, Robert. Hello, Melissa McElroy. Divine Principle number 2. Show no intent to control, for any such attempt will defeat you. This is the law of cause and effect. Through this law, divine order is upheld. Divine Principle number 3. Choose not to place your happiness, coronavirus, government, religion, the people that are doing things to children, any nonsense. Choose not to place your happiness in the hands of another person, nor in the temporal world. This is the law of self-fulfillment through God, the source of all life and happiness. The law of no external idol worship was given to you by Moses. Number 4, choose to reach for the ideal self by turning inward to move forward. This is the law of observation, pulling back from the drama. Learning to remember creates regeneration, expansion, and conscious spiritual evolution. Law number 5. Divine Principle number 5. Pray and meditate daily. The law of giving and receiving. Prayer is talking to God. Prayer is giving. Giving is receiving. Meditation is receiving. Receiving is giving. Number 6. Show intent to embrace, understand, and transcend your fear. The law of divinity and free will choice. Aligning with God rewards you with everlasting peace. Number 7. Become fully aware of what you are thinking and feeling, for this will launch you into your mastery as creator. The law of I. When you are aware of awareness, you are conscious of consciousness. Number 8. Take responsibility for your life, for it is of your own creation. All of it. The law of deliberate creativity. Living laws number 1 and 7. And finally, divine principle number 9. Claim your part in the whole by realizing who you are. You are God. I am you. The law of self-enlightenment. Acknowledging God as omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. The divine source principle embodied in all things. Inherent in each of these laws is the whole of the divine principle. It will take your heart to fully comprehend them because they are formless, above and beyond language. But the sooner you begin to open yourself to them, ground them, and master them, the sooner you will be able to come home. There is no need to wait until death for life. By living my divine principles will grant you life throughout your life. This is the path. There is no other path. It may look like this. It may look like that. It may look like this one or that one. That's the path. These beings around me are torches saying, I'm lighting the road. I'm opening the door to the path. That's the way home. It's the way forward. You do that by going inward. I can tell you right now, for those who are watching this presentation, I am 55 minutes into it. So if you want to find the marker to go back to all of the laws and then the divine principles, so you don't have to keep scrolling and trying to find it, we're at 55 minutes into this presentation, time marker. I say go back 10 minutes. Start from there, and you will hear all the laws. Some of them are duplicates of the divine principle. If you seriously devoted about becoming illuminated consciously, you will go back and you will listen with that, and you will take them in and see that you have a shitload of matches in your pocket, and you can strike at any moment if something should strike you in your life. When lightning can strike the match, the path becomes lit. You know how to move. You know how to navigate, negotiate the mountain, cross the river, Jordan. That river is turbulent. The first part of the river to the center point of the river is turbulent. Once you cross the 51% of the river, it gets a little smoother until you land on that very peaceful shore. Michael rode the boat ashore. Hallelujah. So, the opportunities now. I'm no longer looking backwards. I'm not looking backwards. If I need to know something about what's happening in the world presently at any given moment, I'll listen. I even do some investigating to see how it can apply to me, because Spirit does speak through the external world. Because maybe it tried to get your attention for whatever reasons, right, wrong, in, out, up, down, and different. You just may not be hearing it inside of your own divine conscious matrix. So sometimes the external matrix does serve a purpose. Neo was walking with the rest, and he goes, well, that was weird, deja vu. And everybody turned around and said, what did you just say? He said, well, I just saw a black cat, and then shortly after I saw another one like it. He wasn't illumined yet, so he did use the platform of the temporal world as a sounding board to get something that he was not getting in the form of internal dialogue. But when you learn it, you understand it, put it down. It's not your path, unless you want it to be your path. Unless you simply want more of the world, which is okay. The world's beautiful. But it's not a choice of the world or spirit. You're actually in the gate. You can have both. That's the whole point. This is why this experiment has launched billions of years ago. When the earth came into existence, it was launched with an intention. So the universe spits out a whole bunch of rock, and the rock creates an orbit, and they form a ball, and they begin to spin. And then whether a comet came here and dropped water molecules, whatever the cosmic dance is, we find ourselves in this spot that Scripture for thousands upon thousands of years has said, hello, I wish I was you. I only had the chance to write about you from the future. But you're here. Hello, Alex. Hello, Carmen de Shasha. Center of light, forward. Tonight we are speaking about center of light, moving forward. If you're here, I'm always going to encourage you, as your own integral part of center of light, move forward. You got something about the past that is booger or bothering you, by all means chime in, so we can all move forward together. This is going to require all of us, every one of us, not one person. It's a bumpy roller coaster. But we smooth it out when we follow the rules or the laws of the amusement park. When they say keep your seatbelt or your bar strapped in, you stay in it. And then you enjoy the ride. It's scary. And when it's done, it was exhilarating. You go, you want to go ride it again? How many times do you do that at an amusement park? You're in a cosmic amusement park. You can ride the roller coaster. Stay strapped in. Follow the rules. Don't stand up. Don't wave your hands so that when you go in a tunnel, your arms get chopped off. Follow the rules. Enjoy the ride because we're all on the ride. Robert says, keep on rocking in the free world. Alex Brand says, hey man, arriving a little late. Is this recorded? Yes, sir. My 99.999, how many nines you want to add, are always logged, except when they're over 4 hours. And then I just make them continuous live, and then they go away. Hello, Debbie. Let me acknowledge everyone in the room. Matt Wolfmeyer, bass playing fool, dear friend of mine. I love me some Matt Wolfmeyer. Hello, Aaron. So tonight we're speaking about center of light forward. I'm not asking you to go into denial about what's taking place in the world. I'm asking you to consider the possibility of denying it as part of what can happen in your own experience. Just not interested in it. So in order for that to take place, is to keep one toe in the old paradigm so you can kind of keep up with any karmic backlash that you have brought upon yourself. Because if you're in Spirit's good grace forever, you got a huge spiritual savings. God's going to save you. Savings account, and it's overflowing with grace and savings. You're good. But be careful, because the old paradigm could have some backlash. So you still become aware of yourself in this dimension, which it is, to mention this domain of a reality you are leaving behind because you're moving forward. Center of light moving forward. Business as you. Y-O-U. Business as usual. YOUsual. This is about you. Take care of yourself so you can best take care of those around you. The gate is open. Everyone's falling into the fire. And guess what? Hellfire and the divine fire is the same fire. Nothing happens without God's permission. So somehow, God is all a part of everything that's transpiring. Are we living in the conscious reality of it? Or are we living in the illusion of it, the free energy that we use to manipulate and spin to create an illusion that we fall into? So we're falling into a fire, and that fire is so unconditionally loving, it will tell you, you can have whatever you want. Dad, I want some knuckleheaded nonsense. Yes, you can have it. And we fall further into the abyss until we release ourselves from our own self-induced guilt and karma. Or we can fall into the same fire and have pure intentions, a heart of fire, the sacred heart. Jesus, it's all backwards. Jesus always points to the sacred heart, and there's a fire illumined around it. It's the same fire. So now that we have a better understanding of that we're falling, regardless, you're falling. The world is falling. The world as we have always known it is not only collapsing, it's not shaking, it's falling. The human psyche infrastructure is collapsed because no one knows what to do. Now you know what to do. You move forward, toward something. You do that by going inward, which is upward, which is forward, toward your best life, your heaven on earth. This is the prophecy, becoming the embodiment of heaven on earth. Thousands of years, people have waited, made false predictions. The end of the world, the end of the world. We all heard that many times in our life. Because there is no end of the world. There's an end of you, the part of you that has been longing to die. And we keep it on a breath machine, keep it alive, a respirator, just to watch the body go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Well, that's not living at all. That's existing. And we have become walking zombie death. That's the zombie apocalypse. So now that we're falling consciously, let yourself fall. You don't want to grab onto the world. You want to die so that you can be reborn in Christ. The one that is the divine net that catches all of us. Born into the net of the divine. Be it whatever garb or guise that divine energy wears is irrelevant. Because if you're holding on to an image of what your deity actually looks like, you are not falling. You are holding on to an image. You are not truly falling into the gate of the all. Because in the all is all. It's not one, it's all. And in the all is the one, which is everything. So your master, your deity, your teacher will lead you. But you have to jump into the fire yourself. What did Morpheus say? I told you, Neo, I could show you the door. But you have to be the one that opens it. Are you taking the blue pill or the red pill? I took a handful of red pills. And I'm overdosing. I am overdosing. I am transitioning. I am allowing myself. The greatest thing that you can do to allow yourself to be open is stop clamping on. Yeah, but there's no yeah, but. If you yeah, but, you've grabbed a live wire again. If you want to free yourself, learn how to go. You don't have to like the it or the something or the situation or the person. But you have to learn how to let go. If you're going to get mad, get piss and vinegar mad. Tell yourself, I'm allowing myself to get passionately mad. You don't have to, but if that's what you need to do for therapy, do it. And when you're done with it, just be done with it. I've exhausted all my possibilities with this experience. So you're done. How many episodes of the Brady Bunch do you need to watch to realize that you want to wait 20 more years before you revisit something that was cute to you back in your innocent days? Kind of idea. You can bet the Christ does not look like Jesus. You can bet the Christ does not look like Swamiji or this one or that one. The Christ is a principle. The Christ principle. The body of Christ. It just so happens that this person masterfully, gracefully, beautifully lived a life of ultimate sacrifice to show us all the epitome of what God's face looks like. That's one. That's another. That's another. That's another. And guess what? That's another. And that's another. And together we are sisters and brothers. Fathers and mothers. Sons and daughters. It's a divine family. You can choose to be in the family reunion that's coming up. The band's about to start. They play soul music. We got tired of hearing the blues. My baby done left me. I don't feel good. Center of Light. I'm going to play a song I promised for Tina. Let me find this piece of music. Center of Light Forward we have been speaking about tonight. Business as you. YOU. Business as usual. I'm looking. She wants to hear a song called I Am. So let me try to find it here. I Am. And there it is. And there it is. Right here, right now for you. Here you go, sister. A song by Lavender Soul, my spiritual band, called I Am. I am. I am the light. I am the dark. I am everything.
Drop down on your knees, this pain has made you pray. And you say out loud, are you there? And the answer is, I am everywhere.
I don't know where that version came from. The volume dropped. It must have been for some sort of promotion I did for an advertisement. I will send you this song, dear. Thank you for your Lavender Soul request. It's always a joy to be with you. I'm done with the nonsense. I want to move forward. I want to move forward. I am moving forward. In fact, I am placing myself at the goal that I'm reaching. And I do that by using my God-given faculties to pan the reality, the temporal. But who is this person panning and viewing and observing the reality? The one that's so convincing, even the trouble in the world. Who is that being? When you understand that, that's called true seeing. And then the path becomes illumined. Now you know how to navigate. You got your GPS, your God positioning system. It says, turn right.
Access granted.
And your GPS sounds off. And you know what you're doing. And sometimes, honestly, even including myself, I have to say to myself,
Where's my glasses?
where's my glasses? I need to see. Dear Lord, come to me, help me to see. I want to move forward. I'm leaving the old paradigm behind. It's beckoning to die. It wants to die. It's like someone who is 2,000 years old and say, someone, and he can't die. It's like a Twilight Zone episode. And he can't die. Tries cutting his head off and he just regenerates and he can't die. That being wants to die. It seems like it doesn't. It's tired. Let it be tired. Let it fall asleep. Pat its little hiney like you do a little child. Pat that part of you. Don't be brutal to that part of yourself. It's a gorgeous part of who you are. But now you're leaving it behind because you're no longer a child of God. You're an adolescent. Some people are becoming adults. These are adults. So to be like the adults, we have to learn from them and mimic their motions. And these people are in the ocean. And we do that by being locked, steadfast, moving forward in devotion. That's the tincture. That's the nectar. That's the lotion. You are loved beyond measure. You are a treasure in my life. It's always my pleasure to be with you. New book coming out soon. July 31st, 2020. Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. You can go to Amazon right now and pre-order it. It's like $16.95. It would sure do wonders for this beautiful work that you beautifully show up and beautifully are a part of. Keith Anthony Blanchett, Yonava, we're moving forward. I will be seeing you probably tomorrow night. This is the rest of my life. It brings me joy. You bring me joy. And I love bringing joy to others. And I'm being instructed by these teachers. I fall into a state of consciousness, meditation, and I'm with them. They're with all of us now. I just got better for myself, nobility, better at hearing the phone call. This is the call. Answer your phone.